next episode in Factory Floor Fails. All right, let's talk about safety. Not the poster on the wall kind, not the corporate email everyone reads. Real, everyday factory floor safety. Because there are shops out there that do it right. There are shops that go way overboard. And then there's shops that, plain and simple, don't give a damn. And yeah, I've worked for all three. So today we're going to talk about safety first, what it actually means. And then we're going to break down those three types of shops and why only one of them really gets it right. What safety really is. My motto has always been simple. My job is to make sure you go home tonight the same way you showed up, alive, and went off with all your pieces intact. That's it. That's the whole thing. Safety doesn't need to be complicated. It doesn't need buzzwords. It doesn't need fear tactics. Safety is really this simple. You see something that could hurt you or hurt someone else. You mark it, you report it, and make sure nobody gets hurt in the meantime. That's it. Most shops already have systems for this. They've got safety reps, they've got teams, they've got reporting tools. But here's the key part. If everyone has the same mindset, everyone is safer. Safety doesn't belong to one department, it belongs to everyone. All right, let's get into it. The three kind of manufacturing shops when it comes to safety, I'll call them the world class, the golden child shop, and the how is this place still open shop. And again, I've worked for all three. Let's start with the world class shop. This is the gold standard. These shops take safety seriously, but they don't let it kill productivity. During training for new operators, safety is built in, not shoved down your throat, not treated like a punishment. Yearly refreshers, yep, short videos, quick pre-shift meetings, 5 minutes, talking about new hazards, a close call or a reminder. Nothing long, nothing dramatic, just enough to keep it fresh in everyone's mind. They respected downtime, they respected production, but they never sacrificed safety. That balance matters. And because of that, people paid attention. For instance, in this shop that I worked, they had safety meetings once a month. They went over problems, brought it to last meeting, discussed what had happened to solve them, and recorded it all. We then opened new problems and had roundtable discussions of smaller, quick fix issues. Finally, if the incidents had any incidents that happened, we discussed them and we went on with our day. They were usually 15 to 30 minutes, and it was the management team. Then once a week, at the end of the shift, we would pull all the shift employees in and cover a topic, whether it be trip hazards or climbing hazards, usually for about 10 or 15 minutes. Because they were kept simple and to the point, this was a good place to work, a safe place to work, and honestly, it was enjoyable. When safety is done right, people feel it. They trust the company, then they trust leadership, and they look out for each other. Now we go on to the golden child shop. Now, let's talk about this shop that means well, but goes way too far. This is a shop that is so worried about someone getting hurt, they actually cause problems. Productivity tanks, downtime skyrockets, and sometimes they create accidents trying to avoid them. Let me paint the picture. You come in before you even start your shift. It's like, all right, everybody, 10 minutes to put your suit of armor on so you don't get cut. then another 10 minutes to waddle to your station. If this press goes down, go help clean. All right, I'm going to stop right here. You had operators walking around down presses being worked on, trades crawling in and out, and operators cleaning around them. That is not okay. I understand keeping people busy and I understand wanting to reduce idle time, but you clean areas where no maintenance is happening. You don't put people in harm's way just to say they're working. This is where overdoing safety becomes dangerous. Too many rules, too much gear, too much movement. People stop thinking, they stop paying attention, they just follow emotions. For instance, in this shop, one of the operators was sweeping around a press line that they were changing the job out, moving dies. These are large 20,000-pound stamping tools, and they're being flown overhead using a crane. The tradesperson running the crane had to be clear while running it and didn't know the operator was under it. Nothing happened, but when it was seen, we got the operator out of there just before it was directly over top of them. A catastrophe could have happened, but rules kept the crane operator out of place and out of view. And just by keeping everyone busy, this is what put people at risk. Honestly, I could do a whole show on this shop. Let's get out of here before we get hurt. All right, let's take a quick timeout. If any of this sounds familiar, or if you're already mentally listing hazards in your own shop, go ahead and hit that like button. It helps this channel, and it tells me I'm not just yelling out into the void. If you want real manufacturing talk, no corporate spin or fairy tales, go ahead and hit that subscribe button too, and that little bell notification so you don't miss any future episodes. Because unlike preventive maintenance schedules, these actually happen when they're supposed to. All right, let's keep going. Shop number 3, the OSHA Field Day shop. The how are they still in business shop. Let me paint the picture for you. You walk in, your feet are already sticking to the floor. You look around, there's a haze in the air. That can't be good for your lungs. As you get closer to the line, you start slipping and sliding. You walk a little farther, and you see a junkyard of old machines and parts. Assembly pieces everywhere, leaks, spills, broken guards. I'm sorry, this is an OSHA field day. And I worked in 2 shops like this. 2. In my opinion, these shops had a better chance of sending you to the morgue instead of the hospital. Maintenance was incompetent. Filters weren't clean. Leaks weren't fixed. Basic housekeeping didn't exist. This isn't bad luck. This is negligence. And no, I'm not calling out names. I never do that. But I will call out behavior because this kind of environment tells employees one thing: you don't matter. And when people feel that way, everything suffers. All right, let's get back to a safe place to talk. Safety is everyone's responsibility, just like quality, just like production, just like efficiency. If everyone is a little involved, everyone is a little safer. It doesn't take much. Some training up front, occasional updates, clear communication, and a strong support system. Maintenance, janitorial, and setup teams. These are the backbone of a safe shop. When they're supported, the floor is safer, the people are safer, and work gets done better. Safety doesn't have to slow you down, and it doesn't have to be ignored. The goal isn't zero movement. The goal isn't zero fear. The goal is simple. Everyone goes home the same way they came in. And if you get that right, everything else gets easier. So that concludes this episode of Factory Floor Fails. I hope you enjoyed it, and I invite you back for more. And now, if you're a business owner, plant manager, or supervisor watching this and thinking, yeah, this sounds way too familiar, then that's not an accident. What I talked about here today is in theory, is something I didn't read in a book. It's what I've done in real factory floors with real people under real pressure, and I've watched it work. If your operation is stuck in meetings instead of making progress, if your numbers should be better than but never seem to get there, or if people could perform but something's getting in the way, that's exactly where I come in. I work with small and mid-sized manufacturers to fix problems at the root, improve leadership on the floor, and turn chaos into consistency. No buzzwords, no corporate fluff, just practical solutions that actually stick. If you're interested, reach out. The contact info is below. Worst case, you get a conversation. Best case, you get your operation back on track. Thanks for watching, and remember, if you don't fix the real problem, you don't have a real solution.